Hey everyone, welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of the Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel, and it became the Book of Zion. In order to publish the Book of Zion, which is written entirely in Bible verse, I had to write the Potsmoker's Bible, which I wrote in my own words. And today, I'm going to take up where I left off at the end of a discussion about my people and how we should be humble in the face of the gray. Because we must approach the gray as they are. They created us. They are far wiser than we are. We are but children, just learning how to talk. We need to grow up and start doing our best. We can be so much more than we are. To become our best, we need to call upon our parent race, the gray, to teach us a better way. Which brings us to Ezekiel 34:23 to 28, which becomes Zion 13:66 to 71. And I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. He shall feed them, he shall be their shepherd. And I, the Lord, shall be their God, and my servant David a prince among them. I, the Lord, have spoken it. And I will make with them a covenant of peace, and will cause the evil beasts to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness, and sleep in the woods. And I will make them and the places around about my hill a blessing. And I will cause the shower of blessing to come down in his season, and there shall be showers of blessings. And the trees of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth her increase. And they shall be safe in their land, and shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall break their bonds, the bonds of their yoke, and deliver them out of the hands of them that serve themselves of them. And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beasts of the land devour them, but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall no more be consumed with hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of the heathen any more. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord, their God, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord God. And ye, my flock, are the pasture of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord. Thus ends the 13th chapter of the book of Zion. Now Ezekiel in this passage tells the people that the gray have made everything ready. Israel will have David to be their king, reincarnated, of course. Whether is whether this is David reincarnated, or a direct descendant of David who is reincarnated isn't clear. The use of channeling, or the transmigration of the soul, means that David himself can be reincarnated to rule Israel again. We will wait to see who David turns out to be. I believe that David is the Messiah. For the people of Zion, David is king. He will be their leader also. This would imply that Messiah, or the chosen one, is David, because there is one ruler, David. It stands to reason that David is reincarnated. But will David rule both Israel and Zion? Or is the one Israel which includes or is it one Israel which includes Israel and Zion? A joint kingdom with David as ruler. Or perhaps Zion is ruled by Zion and Messiah, while Israel has David as king. This seems more in line with the prophetic reasoning. Although Zion is part of Israel, it is a sister nation. We'll see. Irregardless, the gray will make a pact with their human children, a covenant of peace. As long as my people are peaceful, the earth herself will bless them. We will be safe, our land secure, as long as the earth remains. Verse 30 is in this passage is perhaps the most telling proof of the entire prophecy. I will raise up for them a plant of renown. Marijuana is the plant of renown. It is most definitely the most infamous plant on earth. It alone of all plants on earth has a reputation. No other plant has such lore associated with it. No more shall we be consumed with hunger in the land. This seems to refer to the munchies, or a seeming contradiction. But the hunger in the land reflects the heartlessness of our enemies. When Zion, the nation, is born, of those who get the munchies, we will feed those who are hungry in the land. No one shall bear the shame of the heathen any more. Up until now, the people of Zion have borne the seeming shame of being godless on earth. The heathen of today are called atheists, the non-believers. Potheads and drug users have always seemed godless because we have rejected the false idols called God. But we are true believers in the true alien God of earth. We rejected the false God for the true God. The rest of the world, who for the most part believe in false idols, scorn us for our non-belief. But we were taught to reject false religion. We were created godless by God. Now that we have learned of our true godly origins and purpose, we can do the job we were created to do. We will interact with the true alien God for those who can't. We will teach the idol worshippers the truth. We were created by the true God to end the worship of false gods. Now that we know who we are, we can end false religion. But by the truth of the prophecy, the true people of God, Zion and Israel, will be freed. We will end the war on drugs. We will end false morality and religion. The gray, our God, has provided their people with all the proof that we need to fulfill the prophecy and ensure a peaceful future for all of humanity, human and gray alike. So thus ends the 16th chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible. I don't think that I have time to do the entire reading, but I'm going to start it off. No, I'm just going to end this one early, or perhaps talk a little bit about it, and then next time, and then I'll do the next one, the reading, which is always my favorite part. I love the way that the prophecy comes together so seamlessly, so that when I do the actual reading of it, and I don't tell you which chapter and verse I'm reading, but I just read it straight out, it reads as if that was the way it was originally written. It doesn't read as if, what was it, 14, 15, 25 prophet, it's like a bunch of different people wrote little bits and pieces of this. But it puts it together seamlessly so that you get a book. And when I first started putting it together back in the 90s, it amazed me how the pieces fit together. But at that time, I had no idea what this year would look like. But it's like I'm sitting here from the perspective that I know exactly what the prophecy has to say. I know exactly the events that are foretold to happen, and they've all happened up to the point of the destruction of America. Now, it's almost election day in 2020. And 2020 is the year of the ascension of Zion. It's not the year of the controversy of Zion. Okay, yeah, it is the year of the controversy of Zion. Because the controversy of Zion is whether or not all of these events are the fulfillment of prophecy. Because they believe me, they are. Because everything from 2015 to now has been prophetic. It's, to me, it's very telling that my court date to establish myself as Zion was May 25th, which is the same day that George Floyd died. Only there's a few years difference. There's 5 years difference. Now, when I went to prison, or when I went to jail originally, that was when the rioting started. I watched the Ferguson riots from my jail cell. And that was really the first uprising of the people of Zion. And that coincided with my entry into prophetic life. Because up until that point, I was just a human, I was just normal, ordinary person. But the moment I opened the Temple of Zion with the intent of fulfilling prophecy, it's like I set things in motion. And what I set in motion was me going to prison for pot smoke in the name of the prophecy to establish myself as Zion. And I did that 2 years in prison, just as the prophet Jeremiah foretold. Just as the prophet Isaiah foretold, I gave a 16-page dissertation from Isaiah himself, establishing my beliefs in a court of law, establishing me as Zion. It was prophecy. I had to go to court to establish myself as Zion in a case pertaining with the plants of renown, marijuana. I went to prison for 2 years for selling marijuana in the name of God. Imagine that. In the United States of America, I went to prison for my religious beliefs. And same time I went to prison, everything started coming together. I watched Trump be elected, and I knew that I was putting the final prophecy together. So as I was putting the prophecy together, I was watching it being fulfilled with the basis of men. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn life. Know that I love you. Pursue your joy. Make yourself happy. I love you all. Later. I'll never say goodbye.